There's a kind of silence my body still doesn't trust. The kind of quiet that used to feel dangerous. And now is finally starting to sound honest. Welcome in, my loves, mis amores. If we're here right now, it's not because life has been cute or calm to us. It's because something in us is tired of holding it alone. Because in a world like today, we're craving something real. Not polished or perfect. Just something that we can connect to and finally relax into. So in this space, we don't call ourselves damaged. We were just coded to live in survival. And now we're recoding to be and feel free. I've been paying attention to the way silence still sits in my body. How even now, it can feel like an echo of something old. And I want to slow down with that tonight. Not to reopen wounds, but to finally understand what this kind of quiet has been trying to tell me. There are silences that smooth, and there are silences that shape you. Not the peaceful kind or the take a breath kind. I mean the kind you grow up inside of. The kind that trains your nervous system before you even have the words for what's happening. For me, silence wasn't calm at all. It told me how to behave, what to fear, and what and who held control. When I was young, silence wasn't used to settle anything. It was used to control the room. Say one thing out of turn and you're here, ¿y quién te preguntó? Try to explain yourselves and it was calladita te ves más bonita. And if energy started shifting, they'll shut it. Don't even start. Those phrases weren't guidance. They were warnings. So I learned early that silence wasn't just an absence of sound. It was a system, a code, a way of navigating adults who weren't safe. Moods that couldn't turn without warning. And a home where speaking up came with consequences. And this wasn't just my mother's code. It was her mother's code too. Passed down the way people pass down recipes or traditions. Except this one was built on fear, not love. My mother learned it from a household where silence was the only protection she had. Where being invisible kept her from being targeted. Where quiet wasn't a choice, it was survival. So when she enforced it on me, harshly, violently, and without explanation, I understand now that she wasn't teaching me discipline. She was repeating what was done to her. That's the generational code. A rule your body learns before your mind ever questions it. A belief passed down quietly, convincing you that staying small keeps you safe. Staying out of the way, fading into the background, making yourself less visible so danger might skip over you. But here's the truth I couldn't see as a child. Silence might have protected me, but it also reduced me. I learned to disappear when I needed connection most, to step away from myself before anyone else could. And it took years, decades, to realize that this wasn't just how I am. It was programming my body absorbed without permission because it didn't know any other code yet. Here's what the roots start to reveal themselves. Silence that didn't comfort, quiet that asks you to disappear, and a generational code that confused survival with invisibility, teaching you that fading out felt safer than standing firm. From here, the recoding starts. There's a kind of silence that doesn't come from being obedient. It comes from your body trying to protect you. The kind of quiet you don't choose. It just happened. Because somewhere inside your system thinks something bad is about to happen. I didn't really understand that until peer support training. We were paired up, just sitting across from each other, practicing peer present. Nothing dramatic, nothing deep, just a simple pause. But that little pause, my body reacted like it was a threat. My chest got tight. My thoughts started speeding. I suddenly felt like I needed to fill the space, explain myself, smile, say something, fix something even though nothing was wrong. Because for me, growing up, silence never meant peace. Silence meant danger. It's already happening. Be careful. In that moment, I wasn't reacting to the person in front of me. I was reacting to every childhood silence I lived through. The ones where the whole house felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for someone's mood to flip. All those years of scanning tone, measuring footsteps, trying to stay small so I wouldn't make things worse. So when the exercise said, let the silence breathe, my whole body said, absolutely fucking not. Silence didn't breathe in my childhood. Silence meant brace yourself. But sitting there in that room with someone who had no intention of hurting me, I felt the coalition happen inside of me. My grown self was meeting an old code. That's what triggered me, not the assignment or the partner. It was two different truths hitting each other. The silence that used to terrify me, and the stillness I'm only now learning is safe. Peer support asked me to do something I never had the safety to do before. Hold a pause without shrinking, without feeling like I have to apologize, fix anything, or slip out of myself just to keep the peace. That's when I realized how old my reaction was, how my body still remembers the little girl who had to watch everything so she could survive. It's not about being broken or dramatic. It's about the way survival teaches your body to remember what your mind has tried to leave behind. And noticing that, actually seeing it as it's happening, was the beginning of something new. Because the danger isn't always real anymore. Sometimes it's just an echo from a code I'm finally learning how to rewrite. Before I can talk about the silence I'm learning to trust now, I have to tell the truth about the silence I grew up with. The one that didn't protect anyone, and the one that carried danger. My mother didn't come from a home where girls were allowed to speak. My grandmother lived in a world that demanded obedience from women. Quiet wasn't a personality trait. It was a price of survival. That silence shaped her and then shaped my mother. But somewhere between my mother's girlhood and her motherhood, silence changed shape. It stopped being something she endured and became something she enforced. Inside our home, she didn't hold her voice back. She used it like a weapon. Everything was yelling. It was loud enough to fill the entire house. And while she was loud with us, we were expected to be the quiet ones. To be small, still, careful. Silence became the rule she demanded from everyone but herself. But there were moments where she did go quiet. Not the peaceful kind, not the resting kind, the kind that warned us something was already in motion. I remember that day clearly. My sister got hurt in the kitchen. The heat in the air, the yelling, the shock, the lie we were forced to repeat. I remember wanting to tell the truth, thinking my father would protect us, and then learning there was no safety on either side. That moment carved something into me. When adults are unpredictable, silence feels like the only shield you have. And then there was the season she didn't speak to me at all. 3 whole months where I wasn't a daughter. I was a ghost living in the same home. She walked around me like I didn't exist. No good morning, no acknowledgement, nothing at all. I was 9 years old, trying to stay alive in a home where being invisible felt safer than being seen. Until it broke me enough to say out loud, I didn't want to be here anymore. That was the first time she looked at me again. Not with love, but with anger though. Anger that I had forced her to notice her. Or to notice me. Those moments taught my body a language long before my mind could understand it. Silence plus danger equal brace. Silence plus unpredictability equal shrink. And silence plus mother equal disappear. And even though I can hold compassion for that little girl my mother used to be, I won't pretend her choices didn't shape me. She hurt us with the same tools that once protected her. She handed down the code she inherited, and we grew up inside the fallout. But I'm not telling you this part to blame her. I'm telling it to finally tell the truth gently, so I can break what she couldn't. Because the silence she used to control the world around her is the silence I'm finally learning to soften. There's a part of my silence that didn't come from childhood at all. It came from the way I learned to cope on my own. If you heard the last episode, then you already know withdrawing used to be my favorite escape route. Not because I wanted to hurt anyone, but because stepping back felt safer than staying present. For years, distance felt like protection. I kept telling myself I needed space or time to think, or that I was protecting my peace. But if I'm being real, most of the time I'm running. Slipping out before anyone had the chance to confirm that fear's already living in my chest. Whenever things felt too close, I pulled away. If the energy changed, even a little, I convinced myself something bad was coming. And the minute anything felt unfamiliar, I went quiet and disappeared. And underneath all that was something I didn't have language for it yet. The worry that people would misunderstand me, the anxiety that came with closeness, and the discomfort of being seen in places I was still trying to figure it out. And tucked inside that, the old code I grew up with, the belief that silence kept me safe, that distance prevented damage, and leaving early kept me out of the line of fire. I never realized I was reacting the same confusion I lived with. Because while I worried people didn't really want me around, I never stopped to think about how my disappearing made them feel. Unsure, left out, maybe even hurt. And to be honest, there were moments I came back with a story. Not to manipulate anyone, but because it felt easier than admitting how overwhelmed I had been. I didn't know how to return and say, look, I pulled away because closeness hits a part of me that I never learned how to feel safe with. Withdrawal became my hiding place. But it also became the habit that kept me from building anything real. Healing is where things began to shift. Slowly, I started sitting with the discomfort. Instead of running from it, I started questioning the stories my mind created. Speaking honestly instead of slipping away, and coming back without the mask. I'm still learning, rewiring old reflexes, and still recoding the parts of me that believes leaving first keeps me safe. But now I'm choosing something new. Showing up instead of slipping away, standing in honesty instead of fear, and letting stillness feel supportive, not threatening. Because disappearing used to protect me, but honesty is what's helping me grow now. There's a kind of quiet I'm only now beginning to understand. A quiet that doesn't feel like danger and doesn't feel like disappearing either. It's different. It actually helps me stay with myself. This silence doesn't demand anything from me. It doesn't punish me or threaten me. It just mirrors what's happening inside my body. When I slow down now, I notice things I used to run past. How my breath tightens when an old fear shows up. The heat in my chest when I feel misunderstood. That little pull in my stomach when something doesn't sit right. Those are signals I never had word for before. These days, silence isn't a hiding place. It's where I regulate. It gives me space to pause before reacting, to separate what belongs to the moment from what belongs to the little girl who learned to brace from everything. I'm learning to pause without vanishing, to watch a thought instead of letting it drag me into survival mode. And honestly, regulation looks different now too. Some of it happens through grounding, writing until my mind settles, reading to soften the noise, stepping outside with my kids and remembering there's life beyond my triggers, or being around people whose energy reminds my body that connection doesn't always mean harm. Other parts comes from truth. Saying what's happening instead of shutting down. Staying present even when I feel myself wanting to slip away. Letting the people I care about see the emotional shift instead of hiding behind silence like I used to. I'm not going to pretend I master any of this. There are days I feel myself sliding right back in the old code, pulling away faster than I need to, holding my breath instead of speaking up, trying to protect myself before anything even happens. But something is different now. I actually catch myself in real time. I hear the old pattern as it rising. I feel the shift while it's happening instead of getting lost inside it. And that simple awareness, that moment of, oh, I see what's happening, that feels like growth I never thought was possible for me. This new silence has softness to it. It's not the old punishment, not the disappearing act I relied on. It's a tool now, a way to check in with myself, anchor my body, and choose a new response. I can sit in quiet without jumping to the worst story. I can hear what my body is trying to tell me before it takes over. And slowly, gently, I'm shaping a new code inside myself. One that keeps me present, keeps me whole, and doesn't turn me into a ghost. This is the quiet I'm choosing now. The one that grounds me, keeps me honest, and helps me recode the story I inherit into something I can actually live in. A way of being that lets me stay fully here without disappearing at all. As we wrap up, I want to invite you into a small moment of truth with yourself. Not the past version of you, just the you who's listening right now. When the quiet comes, does it feel like a door closing or a door cracking open? For me, it's been both. The silence that once concerned me is the same silence teaching me how to stay present without shrinking. That shift didn't happen all at once. It happened in tiny recognitions, tiny pauses, tiny breaths I used to rush past. So if your silence feels complicated, you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply hearing parts of yourself that finally have space to speak. And that alone is a sign of new coding unfolding. Coding that grows quietly, moves without demanding perfection, and opens space for you to meet yourself without running. If the quiet feels heavy, honor that. If it feels steady, honor that too. Either way, you're not going backward. You're learning how to read yourself in real time. And that's a kind of progress your younger self never even knew was possible. So thank you for sitting with me today. Be gentle with your mind. Honor what your body remembers. Until next time, stay real, stay open, and keep walking towards your light. Caribbean Coded.